Every weekend, millions of people open the same small screen and make the same tiny promise, just one bet. A touchdown. A corner kick. A missed free throw. A horse by half a length. Suddenly, entertainment becomes a balance sheet. On the surface, sports betting looks simple. You choose a side, risk some money, and wait for the game to answer. But that is only the surface. Underneath it, there is a map most bettors never see. A map of leagues, apps, odds, data, payment systems, advertisements, affiliates, regulators, and human psychology. This is not just a story about gambling. It is a story about how a game becomes a machine. And the first rule of this machine is painfully simple: the house does not need every person to lose every time. It only needs enough people to keep coming back. So the real question is not whether one bet can win. One bet can win. That is why the machine feels fair. The real question is, who wins when sports betting explodes? Welcome to Invisible Maps, where we do not just look at what is happening. We map the system underneath it. Today, the visible story is a fan placing a bet during a game. The invisible story is a global industry learning how to turn attention into repeated deposits. In the United States, the map changed after 2018, when states gained the power to legalize sports betting on their own terms. Since then, sports betting has moved from the margins of sport into the center of the broadcast. It is no longer just something happening beside the game. In many places, it is now woven through the way the game is watched. So before we follow the money, let us answer the question clearly. Who wins when sports betting explodes? Not one villain. A network. Sportsbooks win when betting volume rises. Media companies win when attention rises. Leagues win when engagement rises. Data companies win when every second of the game becomes a price. Affiliates win when a fan becomes a new account. Payment systems win when deposits become frictionless. Governments win when taxable gambling becomes a growing revenue stream. The winner is whoever can turn a fan's attention into a repeated deposit. The loser is whoever thinks one more bet is still just part of the game. That is the map we are about to walk through. For decades, sports and gambling existed beside each other. Sometimes openly, sometimes in the shadows. But the smartphone changed the geography of gambling. It did not just bring betting closer to the fan. It put the bookmaker inside the pocket, next to the highlights, the group chat, the bank account, and the notification feed. That matters because distance used to create friction. You had to go somewhere. Decide something. Cross a line. Now the line is a button. To understand the machine, start with the sportsbook. A sportsbook does not operate like a friend challenging you to guess the score. It operates like a market, a pricing engine, a media company, and a behavioral laboratory at the same time. The app offers odds. But odds are not just predictions. They are prices. And every price is built with a margin. That margin is one of the quiet engines of the business. If you bet one game, luck may dominate. If millions of people bet millions of times, structure begins to dominate. That is why the machine does not need to know the future perfectly. It needs to price uncertainty well enough, often enough, at massive scale. And scale is where sports betting becomes more than a habit. It becomes infrastructure. Now look behind the sportsbook. The next actor on the map is data. Modern betting depends on live scores, player statistics, injuries, weather, historical performance, and real-time feeds. A casual fan sees a number on a screen. Behind that number is a chain of suppliers. Data companies collect the game. Traders interpret the movement. Algorithms adjust the odds. Then the app translates all of that into something emotionally simple: bet now. That phrase is important. Bet now does not ask you to think for an hour. It asks you to react before the moment disappears. Speed is not a side effect of the system. Speed is one of the products. Because the faster the moment moves, the less it feels like a financial decision. If this map is already making you see betting ads differently, hit like and subscribe. This series is about the systems hiding in plain sight. Now we reach the hidden bottleneck, friction. In the old world, gambling required effort. A casino. A bookmaker. A trip. A deliberate step. In the app world, effort disappears. The deposit can happen in seconds. The bet can happen during a timeout. The cash out button appears before the game is over. The next market appears before the last feeling has cooled down. This is the bottleneck the industry had to solve. Make betting feel less like leaving the game and more like participating in it. Once that bottleneck is solved, the game does not end when the whistle blows. It continues in notifications, parlays, free bets, boosts, emails, odds changes, and weekend previews. The goal is not only to monetize the match. The goal is to monetize the anticipation before it, the emotion during it, and the regret after it. That is the invisible loop. Now add advertising. Sports betting does not only compete with other sportsbooks. It competes for the most valuable territory in modern life, your attention during a live event. That is why betting ads do not always feel like gambling ads. Sometimes they feel like sports analysis. Sometimes like comedy. Sometimes like a friendly tip from someone you trust. A bonus bet sounds like a gift. A risk-free promotion sounds like safety. But the deeper purpose is often the same: reduce hesitation, create an account, make the first deposit. The first bet is not just a bet. It is a conversion event. And after conversion, the system can start learning. It can learn when you watch, what you click, which teams trigger you, which losses bring you back. It can learn whether you respond to urgency, confidence, regret, or the feeling that you are one pick away. This is where the map becomes uncomfortable. The customer is not only betting on the game. The system is also betting on the customer. Now enter leagues and broadcasters. For sports leagues, betting can increase engagement. A meaningless late-game play suddenly matters to someone with money on it. For broadcasters, betting creates new segments, new sponsors, new graphics, and new reasons to keep watching. For media companies, betting creates endless content, picks, odds, predictions, locks of the night, same-game parlays. A game becomes a conversation. The conversation becomes content. The content becomes traffic. And traffic becomes advertising inventory. So here is the uncomfortable question: when every broadcast discusses the odds, are we watching sports coverage or the onboarding layer of a gambling economy? Tell me in the comments, should betting ads be treated like normal entertainment or like a financial risk warning? Because that question sits at the center of this map. The industry grows when betting feels normal, social, constant, and harmless. Now enter regulators. Regulation is supposed to define the boundaries: who can operate, who can advertise, who can bet, and what protections must exist. But regulators are not standing outside the system entirely. Governments can also collect taxes from legal gambling. That creates attention: protect consumers, but do not kill the revenue stream. This does not mean every regulator is corrupt. It means regulation happens inside a map of incentives. A legal betting market can reduce illegal activity. It can also expand the total number of people exposed to gambling. Both things can be true at the same time. Now let us bring the map down to one person. Imagine a fan named Ethan. He is not rich. He is not reckless. He just loves basketball. At first, Ethan bets $5 on a game he was already going to watch. It makes the night more exciting. Every possession feels sharper. Every missed shot feels personal. Then the app offers him a boost. Then a parlay. Then a free bet if he deposits again. Ethan still thinks he is choosing freely. And in one sense, he is. But his choices are now happening inside a designed environment. An environment built to remove friction, trigger urgency, reward repetition, and keep the next bet close. The danger is not that every fan becomes addicted. The danger is that the system only needs a fraction of fans to cross the line for the machine to profit. So who wins when sports betting explodes? The clearest answer is this: the network wins when repetition becomes normal. Sportsbooks win from volume. Media wins from attention. Leagues win from engagement. Data companies win from every second that becomes a price. Affiliates win from new users. Payment rails win from deposits. Governments win from taxes. Platforms win from behavior. The fan only wins under one condition: when the bet stays smaller than the life around it. Because the winner is whoever can turn attention into repeated deposits. The loser is whoever has no choice but to chase the next feeling. If this episode gave you a clearer map of the machine behind the game, leave a like, subscribe, and send this to someone who watches sports with the odds open. Because the most dangerous systems are not always hidden. Sometimes they are advertised during halftime.